Alright, I think we're live. It's so crazy how it's showing you that. Anyway, so I'm here today to share that I was featured, or PXL was featured, in the RetroSynth Records website. I solicited for this when the album came out in October. I released PXL on October 17th, almost 2 months ago. They said yes, but it took us a while going back and forth negotiating about the fine details, what I wanted to go in the article, and the direction that I may have wanted it to be written. I think he did a great job. So I'm just gonna scroll through it right here. Some of you may wonder why I've been more MIA this week. It's because I've been dealing with some gastrointestinal symptoms from a combination of eating the wrong shit at the wrong time, and just having symptoms of almost like food poisoning that have taken days to get over, honestly. Like, the nausea was strongest on the first day that I had the nausea, but still kind of here. I'm mostly recovered, but I can still feel like little waves of nausea coming here and there. But in the midst of that, this album review, so that makes things a lot better. Before I get too far into this, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We do this the first Friday of every month. We usually do it at 6 p.m., but today I had to give myself a little bit extra time and drink some water, just be in the right headspace, chat with y'all about this great feature I just got. So I categorized the album as electronica and experimental because that's what it is. But to say that electronic albums impress you technically, there are electronic albums that move you emotionally, and that there are rare pieces of work like PXL, records that do both at once while feeling like they were built from lived experience rather than studio experimentation. Absolutely. Previous albums were mostly studio experimentation that just sat back and said, okay, I think these are the best 10. These are the best 11. These are the best 9. So I'm going to release these because this is the best I have to offer at this time. But with this album, I wanted to tell a story. So I captured some uncomfortable feelings and lived experiences in the moment, sometimes in the same room as the person who I was going through the things with. So yeah, that's what makes this album more unique. That's what makes it a little bit more personal. That's what makes it more lived in and embodied as opposed to experimented, right? Well, actually, I think my least experimental instrumental electronic album. But I still think it's quite experimental because it fuses a bunch of different genres. She's gonna get into here. Let me not spoil he says it right here. Experimental electronica meets hip-hop sensibilities, global rhythm, and ambient storytelling. Which I think is a really good way to put it. I worded it that way myself from previous years, so that's probably from one of the versions of my story that I've told. Hip-hop sensibilities, global rhythm, ambient storytelling. Absolutely. My past works like Equinox, Traces, and Nova earned me international praise because I treat sound not as a toolkit, but as a language. On PXL, I speak that language more vulnerably, more vividly,